Well, this blew up in their faces. The left's reaction to Trump's State of the Union address was chaotic, but two MSNBC hosts took things to a whole new level when they pushed twisted narratives about DJ Daniels. Their comments ended up exposing just how desperate they've become, and the backlash was massive. So today we're breaking down exactly what was said, the reactions that followed, and why DJ Daniel might just be the coolest person on the planet. As always, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos just like this.
For the record, and this is disgusting, the president made a spectacle out of praising a young man who thus far survived pediatric cancer, as if the president had something to do with that. This was in the midst of him praising Doge. The Doge cuts, among other things, have cut off funding for ongoing research into pediatric cancer.
I hope he's alive for another, 95 years, right? And I hope he lives and the life he wants to live. He wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump's support.
Imagine being this miserable in life. It's gotta be exhausting. When Trump announced that DJ was becoming an honorary secret agent, you could see how shocked he was and how much this meant for him. But of course, MSNBC can't let anything slide without turning it into some kind of political controversy. And the most ironic part is Trump joked in his speech that even if we cured incurable disease, they'd still find a way to criticize him. And well, they went ahead and proved his point. But here's the thing, this wasn't some random PR stunt. According to the New York Post, over 1,000 police departments across the country have honored DJ's dreams of becoming a cop. This wasn't something Trump just pulled out of thin air to get attention. It's a genuine Make-A-Wish moment that meant the world to this kid. Obviously, Karoline Leavitt was not going to let these comments slide and said this in the following press briefing.
And as President Trump asked in his speech last night, how could anyone possibly be opposed to any of this action that he is taking? Well, apparently, the modern-day Democrat Party, and it's not just the Democrat Party, the mainstream media still doesn't get it. Last night, MSNBC's Nicole Wallace disgustingly looped in a 13-year-old boy with brain cancer into an attack on the president over January 6th. And CNN's first chyron out of the speech called it divisive. President Trump wasn't divisive. The Democrats were. And CNN was proven wrong by their own viewers, 69% of whom, in a post-speech poll, said they had a positive reaction to the president's speech. It's sad and frankly pathetic that Democrats and liberals in the legacy media continue to allow their hatred for the president to override their love for our country.
And I apologize if I'm emotional, but this is tough to watch. The MSM would love for you to believe they're changing for the better, but moments like these just remind us of how far they've really gone. They're not evolving, they're not improving, and they're definitely not embracing common sense. If anything, they're doubling down on the same nonsense that got them here in the first place. It's not just bias, this is an obsession. I understand that as an opposition news source, their job is to put the ruling party to the microscope, highlight flaws, and rally support for their side, but MSNBC is not interested in truth or fair reporting going after this child. They've driven by pushing an agenda, manufacturing outrage, and making sure their audience stays angry. This isn't even just about politics. Even when real issues need addressing, they'd rather twist the narrative to fit their preferred ideology instead of admitting they were wrong. They claim to be about progress, but what kind of progress is built on deception and division? Trump also said these comments and had a couple of things to say to Rachel and Nicole during a press meetup in the Oval Office.
Worse than CNN is MSDNC, which is the worst. And the good news is very few people watch them anymore. They have lost such credibility. And frankly, what Nicole Wallace said, I've never been a fan of hers, and she's not very talented. But I'll tell you, what she said the other day about that young man is disgraceful. She should be forced to resign. And Rachel Maddow should be forced to resign. Nobody watches her anyway. I don't know if it's not possible they pay her as much money as I hear. But certainly she's lost all credibility, both of them.
He's correct. Nicole Wallace's ratings have taken a massive hit at MSNBC. A recent report found that she saw her 1.6 million viewers prior to the election fall an astounding 35% in the last 3 months to just 1 million, adding, if that wasn't enough, it turns out that the younger demo isn't keen on getting ridiculed and yelled at by the likes of Wallace either, as she's fallen to just 93,000 viewers in the 25 to 54 ratings. which is a key age group for any network at most advertisers aiming to reach this demographic through their advertisements. By the way, I've noticed you haven't liked the video or subscribed to the channel yet, so what are you waiting for? Now, it's clear that Nicole trying to reinvent herself as some kind of resistance icon, hoping it's going to revive her relevance and credibility, is going to work. Maddow is on another level, though, and this is typical behavior from her. Piers Morgan also gave his 2 cents on the topic and summed it up perfectly.
What on earth was she thinking? Why is she still in her job today? Why has nobody at NBC watched that back like the rest of us, aghast in horror, and said, "You're fired"? Because that was a disgusting thing to do. And she wasn't the only one at MSNBC. Rachel Maddow, in a laughably ironic rant about don't politicize this boy's story, then politicized his story. And they couldn't get their heads around it. Again, Laura, it was the lack of humanity. I don't care if you're on the left or the right. If you're a human being and that story doesn't just move you like a human being should be moved, there is something wrong with you. There was something wrong with those Democrats who didn't get up off their backside. There's something wrong with those MSNBC anchors. And it says an awful lot that they still pretend they are the caring ones, the compassionate ones.
Exactly. This just proves their virtue signaling is nothing but hypocrisy. It's all performative, empty words with no substance. This was one of the most genuine and heartwarming moments that we saw on television in a long time. And this kid deserved it, but they couldn't help but twist it into some kind of political controversy. I mean, the first time I saw this clip of DJ getting honored, it just gave me goosebumps. It was one of those rare feel-good moments that transcends political sides. It's a kid's dream coming true for a brief moment that may never come true, and people are just forgetting about the problems of the world for a moment, and he gets to come out victorious here. And I know a lot of you felt the same way, but instead of just letting people have this nice moment and letting this child enjoy it, they had to completely ruin it for him and just slander his name. And I'm sorry for getting emotional, but let's wrap things up. We have Caitlin Collins, who chose to take a different approach when covering DJ, and I think this just proves how this guy is honestly one of the coolest people on the planet.
You know what's crazy?
What?
You know who I caught in the White House?
Who?
Who made the Teslas?
That Elon. You saw him?
Yes, I caught him in the hallway.
Did you say hi to him?
Mm-hmm.
And what did he
said,
say?
Can you do me a big favor? When we get back to Houston, can you send us a Cybertruck down there?
And did Elon Musk say he'd send you a Tesla?
Mm-hmm.
A Cybertruck?
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
I think it's fair to say Caitlin isn't exactly the president's biggest fan, but credit where it's due, she didn't let that take over her humanity. Instead, she gave us this golden moment, proving that even in today's hyper-partisan world, decency can still shine through. And yes, Elon is gifting him a Cybertruck, and I'd say it's well earned. But I'd love to know your thoughts here, so let's get the conversation rolling in the comments down below. And if you want your friends to get their coverage from an independent source like us, or just tell them about these kind of terrible things that are happening, please tell them about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.